So now that we've taken a look at the Taken King exotic weapons, exotic armor is up next, and today we'll take a look at the new Titan exotics. Once again, a reminder that not everything here is absolutely guaranteed to be in the Taken King. These might be items that come in later expansions, we just don't know yet. We'll start with Twilight Garrison. 2 of the 3 column perks are random on this, but the last column says it gives the option of either increased special ammo or heavy ammo drops, not capacity. That's kinda really good. The main bonus here is tactical air support, where pressing something, maybe one of the sticks or circle or B, will give you an evade in mid-air. This is a tough judgment to make right now, as we know absolutely nothing about how the evade will work. Is it a jetpack dash kind of move? Does it give you invincibility frames? Does it make you harder to hit while in the air? How fast and far is the evade? Lots of questions. In PvE, I'm the kind of guy that wants a noticeable effect on my power, and having an evade really isn't doing much for me, although the special and heavy drops is somewhat appealing. Seems more like a PvP exotic, although a debatable one for now. Next, we have the Immolation Fists. The only known side bonus is increased melee attack speed, which is good. The main bonus gives you explosive pyre from the Sunbreaker tree for free, where enemies brought down by your hammers explode, chaining solar damage to other enemies. Now, I think explosive pyre is going to be pretty good as a perk, but let's take a look at the other perks in the column. We have Flame Seeker, where your hammers alter their flight path to seek targets, and Fleet Fire, where enemies felled by your fire grant you bonus agility and reload speed, stacking 3 times. For PvE purposes, I think Explosive Pyre might just end up being the best option in this column anyway, which means there wouldn't be too much of a reason to use these things. For PvP, you'll probably take Flameseeker, but I don't think these are really a PvP exotic. I think the true strength of this exotic is going to rely on how good the other 2 perks end up being, because right now, Immolation Fists are pretty appealing to take, and for a pure DPS Sunbreaker, these might be the go-to exotic. Next up, we have Thagomizers. The only known side bonus is yet again increased melee attack speed, which is good. The main bonus is where Fist of Havoc kills recharge your melee, and melee kills recharge your Fist of Havoc. You also gain an additional melee charge. I don't really have high hopes for these right now with regards to the Stryker Titan. Now, speaking from a Stryker Titan perspective exclusively, these are relatively good, although you will have to change your playstyle a bit. However, Stryker Titan is probably the weakest of the 3 subclasses in PvE. Fist of Havoc is not spectacular, and neither are the Stryker Titan melees. You're going to have to work really hard to make this exotic work well for you, because your playstyle is going to have to change very dramatically in order to make the most out of this exotic. It's very aggressively focused. You're going to need to punch a lot of stuff, and that's not always the safest play. I imagine that people who can make the most out of this will see some pretty decent results though. Stack everything that's going to give you reduced melee cooldown and super cooldown as well, and you might see something happen with these. However, the main thing I'm looking at here, and on the new Insurmountable Skull Fort, which got buffed and will be a Year 2 exotic, is this part. Gain an additional melee charge. You guys have heard me talk about Melting Point a lot and how I think it's going to be amazing. Now imagine having 2 Melting Point melees. Now add a full strength build on top of that. Now add in a Monte Carlo. That's incredible uptime on Melting Point, and I think it's going to be a top tier build for boss fights. Having either Thagomizers or Skull Fort solely for the extra Melting Point melee attack is definitely something everyone should look into having for a Melting Point support Sunbreaker. Next up, we have Imperium Bellicose. The only bonus we know of right now is the main bonus, where aiming weapons while in the air will hold you in place for a short time, aka Angel of Light from Sunsinger, and orbs collected while your super is full will recharge your melee ability. I think this is one of the weakest exotics of Year 2. It might be funny the first couple of weeks seeing floating titans, but the appeal will wear off very fast. Orbs giving you melee energy as opposed to super energy is a low tier bonus at best, yes, even for a Melting Point build. It looks cool, but that's all this appears to have going for it right now. I know smart Angel of Light play is possible in PvP, but there's a reason you don't see it terribly often. The Taiko Knot is a helm with a Ruin Wings-like bonus. The only side bonus we know of is Heavy Lifting, where you gain bonus super energy from heavy weapon kills in PvE, which is pretty good. The main bonus is air traffic control, where all of your rockets gain tracking, your rocket launcher gains third eye, and heavy ammo drops increase while using a rocket launcher. Holy cow, this is pretty good. If it turns out that 2 melee attacks is overkill for a melting point build, this is going to be a great contender. It's a good contender for any sort of Iron Harvest, Defender Titan, Orb Gen build as well. It's a pretty good exotic all around, but obviously you're locked to using a rocket launcher, which I don't feel are as good as machine guns for PvE purposes, which might still give the edge to Ruin Wings, which are a Taken King exotic. We'll see though, the Taiko Knot is certainly viable. Finally, we have Titan Boots, Dune Marchers. The only known bonus is the main one, Speed Demon, where you gain increased sprint speed, extended slide distance, increased movement speed while aiming your weapon, and tighter turn radius while sprinting. Well, historically Titan Boots have been pretty bad, but I gotta say, these are pretty good, at least when it comes to boots. Probably the best boots in the game. Pretty much gonna be a PvP selection for most people, I imagine, not really a PvE thing. Titan skating is getting to be a pretty popular thing, and these only add to the speed factor, so I can see a lot of people who are just really good gunfighters favoring these things, if only because other Year 2 exotics don't really stand out too much in PvP. Overall, nothing really stands out as being overly top tier, but only the Imperium Bellicose stands out as being pretty bad. The Taiko Knot is probably going to be something that people chase. Anything with a bonus melee attack for Melting Point is definitely worth considering as well, along with the Immolation Fists. However, there's nothing here that screams Helm of Saint 14 level of power or utility. Nothing that says you need to have this exotic, at least at first glance. Hell, Helm of Saint 14 and Ruin Wings, 2 of the top Titan exotics in the game, are coming with us into the Taken King. No backup plans are supposedly getting buffed, although right now they're technically nerfed, as you only get bonus shotgun reload speed as opposed to all special weapons, so maybe they're getting buffed with some kind of shotgun buff, I don't know. Sunbreaker only has one exotic directed at them, but I have a feeling if Sunbreaker had a melee-focused exotic, it would just completely dominate the PvE scene. Anyway, that's Titan. We'll hit up Warlock and Hunter next. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.